Welcome to Talking Black and Blue, where the rivalries run deep and every Sunday is a battle. I'm your man, Will McCann, and along with my partner, Tellis Everett, we're a couple of fans from the heart of the Midwest, bringing you real talk from the NFC North, the Black and Blue division. So whether you wear green and gold, Honolulu Blue, purple and gold, or you rep the monsters of the Midway, you are in the right place. So lace up, strap in, and let's talk Black and Blue. Tell us, my man, what is up?
What's up, Will McCann? Hey, friends and kinfolk, we appreciate you supporting the Black and Blue podcast. Listen, when we're not talking football, we'll now remind our realtors in the state of Michigan. So if you know anybody that's looking to buy, sell, or invest, hit us up for our winning game plan in real estate. Will McCann is coming around to the end of the season. We got 3 games left. What's going on, man? What you think of the NFC North?
Man, we are coming down to the end of the season, like you said. You know, when I was growing up, I'm old enough to remember when the season was only 14 games. The season would be over back in the old days.
Right.
And then just a few seasons ago, it expanded from 16 to 17. So instead of 2 weeks, we've got 3 weeks to go. So yeah, like I said last week, man, from here on out, these are playoff games, right?
Yes.
They're not elimination games yet, but they are playoff games. I thought the division showed well last week. You were, did I write that correctly? You were 2-2 last week, and I was 3-1. So it brings me to 32-16 on the season. You're at 27-21, both positive for the season. Both would be making money if we were gambling, which we are telling you not to do.
Exactly. Don't be a knucklehead.
Don't be a knucklehead. But yeah, man, the games were outstanding last week, man. How about Minnesota Vikings going on the road and winning a big game? A game that neither one of us thought they were winning last week, right? They went out and won a big game.
You know my opinion on that, right?
What's that?
The Cowboys are trash.
I was waiting on you to say that. I should have known that. Because I was going to get on your case because you picked them last week. These trash Cowboys, you picked them last week.
You know, when I was younger, I had this buddy of mine, and this was back when not Troy Aikman. What's the guy that
Roger
does the
Staubach?
No. After Aikman.
Oh,
He's a
the guy.
commentator now.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Dak took his spot.
I'll come to his name.
Yeah, Dak took his spot. But anyway,
I
had this buddy.
Tony Romo. Tony
Romo. Yeah. So Tony Romo, I had this buddy. He was a Dallas fan. So we would actually bet. And we got to a point where I was like, look, I can't bet you anymore because Tony Romo throws 2 to 3 interceptions a game.
I just can't be taking your money like that, bro.
I can't do this anymore. But, you know, I should have just paid attention and just went with my gut feeling on Cowboys. But they were on a roll. They're on a stretch. I thought they had something special going, especially after the tragedy. So, you know, and Detroit just wasn't looking that good. So, yeah, it was one of those things. But let's get back to the NFC.
But yeah, I agree with you. I picked them also because I thought coming off the loss to Detroit going back home that they'd come up with a better performance than they showed. But you got to give Kevin O'Connell and his team credit, man, going out there and winning. JJ showed some moxie, man. The kid has moxie. Does he have the game? We will find out over time. But he has the right attitude, right? He'll take hard coaching, and he's not afraid of the moment, right? So we'll see him as he continues to develop.
He's definitely not afraid of the moment. And for Dallas to allow him to hit the gritty at the 10-yard line going into the end zone, I'm like, come on,
that was nasty.
You can't. But at the same time, we joke about this, but if his name was JJ Jackson, there would be an uproar about the hijinks the young man was doing.
He called a showboat, a hot dog.
Exactly.
Right.
Versus Will McCann coming out here and saying he's got moxie.
He's got moxie.
You know I'm looking at you sideways, Will McCann. Let Shador hit the gritty at the 10-yard line.
And you're right.
But yeah, hey, let's go ahead and get into it. So the
Go ahead, man.
Brian
But yeah,
Flores defense, they shut Dallas down in the red zone.
yes,
So that
right.
that becomes my most impressed team of the week for
I
me
agree
is
with you.
Minnesota and what Brian Flores was able to do.
I agree with you, and for the same reasons, right? It was the Brian Flores defense that won that game. Forcing
Absolutely.
all them field goals is
Yep.
what kept them in the game and allowed, their offense and JJ to figure things out enough to pull out a win in that game. And then the Packers going to Denver and battling. But like you said, it came out kind of the way we thought, right? Road game up in Denver, looking ahead to Chicago. So that's one loss. Now you head to Chicago. Now you put yourself behind the eight ball with that one. But that's the way the schedule crumbles sometimes.
Hey, I called it on the Jordan Love mediocre.
Yeah.
But the thing about the headline here is that yes, the Packers lost the game, but they lost more than the game. You know, with Micah going down, and then
Those are Mike.
your and then Christian Watson, who is, I guess, your number one receiver.
He is their best receiver. I ain't gonna call him a number one. But
So
Christian Watson is their best receiver.
he
Yeah.
might not play this week, right?
Right.
So you lost a lot there.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, we'll get into that. And
Yeah.
then the Bears taking care of the Browns. That was just they did what they needed to do.
Yes, they
I
did.
don't think I've learned anything about the Bears from that game,
From that game, no, I agree.
right?
Well, I
Yeah,
will say this. They didn't get caught looking ahead. I will give them credit for that. I expected the Browns defense to play a little better and to hold the scoring down a little more than they did, but because their offense couldn't do anything, I think they
right,
had four straight possessions that were three and out. But, you can't get anything going
right,
defensively when you're back on the field that quickly, that often. So I thought the
right,
game kind of got away from their defense there at the end. But and you're right, you don't learn anything from that game
right,
with
right,
a team that, like I said, other than, in my opinion, Ben Johnson's coaching and not allowing his team to get caught up, looking ahead, and to come out
hmm
and play a tough game, a tough home game against an opponent that they should beat. And then the Lions going to LA. Um, Game kind of went the way I thought it would. They struggled defensively. I thought they had a chance at the end of the first half when they took the 24-14 lead with 30 seconds to go in the half, and then allowed the Rams to come down and get a field goal. And I thought, oh, that ain't good. Then they got the field goal right at the start of the half. Lions three and out, three straight possessions to start the second half. Before you know it, the Rams have scored 20 straight points and the game is over.
right, right.
So that
Yeah,
was a tough
there's
game
really nothing
for
they
the
could do. They
Lions.
ran into a
Yeah.
buzzsaw there with the
They
Rams.
ran into the team that probably is right now the best team in the NFC.
Right, right, right.
So, any performance of anybody last week, other than we talked about the Brian Flores defense, anybody else in any other games stick out for you? Individual performance, either player or coaching wise.
Well, we talked about the game between the Bears and the Browns and how many points that they were able to put up, but a lot of those points was based on what the defense was able to do. So
Yes, it
you had
was. Yep.
um, three interceptions by Jackson Johnson and Gardner Johnson. So those guys, they came to ball. DeMarco had seven tackles,
Yeah.
one
They,
sack, an interception, two pass breakups. So if we're talking about someone that really impacted the game and kind of impressed me this week, it's got to be DeMarco Jackson.
yeah, he had a great game. I ended up watching that game because it was the early game. I tried to go back and forth between that game. Another one was it was the Buffalo um, New England game.
Yeah.
And eventually, I just gave up and kept watching the Bears game there because I wanted to see Caleb and his development and Ben's team. And yeah, I agree
hmm
with you. The Bears defense really did come to play. They choked off Cleveland's offense, put them in obvious pass situations, and then made it difficult on Shador. I will give. It's one of the things about stats in the NFL that are tough to make. I don't want to say decisions, but they're tough to really have opinions on Shador's performance. Now, the one pass he threw behind the guy that got tipped and picked off, but he
Right.
hit Jerry Judy right in the numbers. And the guy
Yeah.
lets
Yeah.
it bounce off his chest into the hands
Exactly.
of a D-back, right? You know, what's
Right.
a quarterback to do on that one, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was an uneven performance for Shador, but I like some of what I saw with him, man. He didn't quit. He got some of that like JJ, just some of that moxie in him, right? Where
Right.
he's going to bring it regardless of what the situation is. But they were just up against him. He didn't have a chance.
Yeah, they didn't have a chance. I mean, the way that Chicago ran the ball, they and took care of the time possession. And then, like I said, that defense just continues to show up. And the three takeaways, and you mentioned that it wasn't his fault, but
Right?
that's what the Chicago Bears do, though.
Yes.
That's they're putting their stamp on the game by taking these balls away,
Yes.
fumbles or interceptions. If they got to wrestle the ball from you, they're going to do that, right?
Yes.
We saw that when they played Philly.
Right. Right. Just took my man's lunch from him. Right.
Exactly, exactly. So for me, I think Chicago is definitely in the driver's seat. They have a couple of tough games coming up, but man, I think that they really control their destiny. You can't you can't look to 2026. You got to be like, this is our year right here.
Yes.
This
Yes.
is it.
Yes.
This is it. Because 2 years ago, it was the Lions season.
Yes.
It was their season,
Yes.
and they were up by 17 to what, three or something.
It was. Yeah, they had a
17,
17-point lead in the fourth in
17
the
point
second half,
lead
in the
in
third
San
quarter.
Francisco,
Yep.
and hasn't
Let
been
it
the
get
same
away.
since. Gave it away, right?
Yep.
So if I'm a Chicago Bears fan, I'm like, we're all in. Let's go. Like, I'm not waiting until 2026. We should do some damage this year.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Well, let's move forward to turn the page to week 16. We move to the end of the season here. Let's talk about the teams in the division, starting with the Green Bay Packers. How do you think they ought to feel as they're about to close out the season here?
So
Yeah, we,
Green
we
Bay
talked about
Packers,
it.
yeah. So the problem with the Green Bay Packers is that you are a good team, right? And you had a good defense before you did the trade. You got Micah, and Micah kind of made the team better defensively. But now, with him gone for the rest of the season, you need Jordan Love to protect the ball and also provide explosive plays.
Yes.
He can't do that.
He can't do one or the other, or he can do neither.
You can't do them both. He
Okay,
can't,
okay.
he's not capable of doing them both. So once he starts to try to attack and give you explosive plays, he's going to give up the ball. He's not going to take care of the ball, right? But if he takes care of the ball, your team really doesn't have a chance,
Yeah.
feel like, right? So you might be looking at a situation where for the rest of the season, in the last three games, where they look like that team that played Philadelphia, right? Where
Okay.
he manages the game,
Uh-huh.
couple of check downs, nothing really down the field, just to protect yourself as a
Yeah.
team, right? But man, I mean, they run up against the Bears, the Rams, and then no, the Ravens, the Bears, the Ravens, and then the Vikings.
Minnesota to close the
Yeah.
season. Yeah.
So
Yeah. So they've got three tough defenses that they're going to be playing to close
right.
out the season here. So yeah, they are going to miss. They've missed Christian Watson all season, really, right?
Yeah.
We thought Matthew Golden would step in and be an impact player for them because we thought he had to be, right?
Right.
And he really hasn't. He's really been invisible most of the season, right? He made a big
Yeah.
game last week, but what kind of impact has he had on the season? He really hasn't. Uh, and at this point, can you expect him to step up and play any better? I would be hard pressed to expect him to. Now, players like Jaden Reed, who has played better in the past, players like
Right. Romeo
Romeo
Dobbs.
Dobbs,
Yeah.
who's played better in the past, if they can start Wicks, now if they can start to play better, that would certainly help Love. But yeah, the missing the deep threat with Christian Watson is definitely going to impact their team.
Yeah. Yeah.
And defensively, without Micah, not only is it they don't have Micah because they traded Kenny Clark, they don't have Kenny Clark anymore either.
Right. Right.
So it significantly depletes their D line because they're missing an impact player, and that guy made everybody on the defense better. So it's
Yeah.
interesting to see how what impact that will have. I'm concerned because it's an ACL. He probably won't be back until this time, right? Even
Right.
though Ali McNeil got hurt maybe around this time last year and came back around week 8, week 9 this season, but has he looked like the same player? Yeah,
Nope.
and I think it's just time on task, right? He just needed more
Right.
time and
He
get
needed
his
more time.
body ready, right? And
Right.
that could impact Micah into next season as well. Because it happened so late in the season. But yeah, they've got. I like their position right now. I have some concerns from the Packers fans. So going forward, they've got to start running the ball better. They just have to. They did a little better this week. But I do
Right.
like with Lafleur, he keeps running the football, whether it's
Yeah.
successful or not. He keeps hammering. And Josh Jacobs has done a great job for them. I think he's really played well for them this season.
Yeah. And to your point, Josh Jacobs only had 12 carries in last week's game. So what are we doing? Right?
And
It's
didn't they
like,
only run the ball like 20 times, 21 times? They didn't run the
yeah,
ball very
they
often at
didn't run the
all.
ball that often. And it's not like you were down big where you needed to
Right.
pass the ball and get back into the game. No, you that was a close game.
It was a competitive game, yes. You
Yeah,
definitely
so
had opportunities to continue to run the ball.
yeah, you could have kept running the ball. So, but for me, that defense is gonna have to step up. You're gonna need I can't think of the other end, but
Rashawn Gary,
yeah, you're
gotta
gonna
get
need Rashawn
Rashawn
Gary to
Gary.
step
Yeah,
up. His num he looks good on
yeah.
certain plays, but overall for the season, he is not performing well.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. He's had better seasons. I'll say that about him.
Exactly,
Rashawn Gary has
exactly,
had better
exactly.
seasons. That's for sure.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah. So
agree.
you in it with Micah going down, it eliminates a lot of the stuff that you could do because you could put him anywhere, right?
Anywhere, right?
You could put him anywhere. He could be at the end, and then he drops back in the coverage, and he can cover a back.
Yeah.
Who can do? He's one of the only people that can do
Line up
that.
over a guard and rush on the inside.
Exactly. So it really limits what you're going to be able to do, and
Yeah,
you you needed this guy,
yeah.
right, to get you to the next level.
To talk
And it
about Super
also,
Bowl. Yeah,
yeah, and also it gave Jordan Love the opportunity to be explosive because he knew that his defense would be able to hold in
yeah.
most
Those
cases.
those deep passes that get picked off. A lot of guys call them arm punts. You can
Yeah,
live with arm punts if you've got a
right,
defensive player like Micah who can
right.
help hold things down for you defensively.
Yep.
Yeah, you'll have to play things differently. Gary's got to play better. Quay Walker's got to play better. Edgerrin Cooper has been playing well this season.
Yeah,
It's harder for him to get much better, but McKinney's going to need to play better at safety also. Everybody's going to have to raise up their game and take up the slack for Mike and not being
exactly, exactly. And like you said, they got three tough defenses that they're going to be
there.
facing. And hey, the Vikings can put it on you. So,
And that's a division game, and
and
yeah, you're
that's a
not going to do
division game.
anything they don't know. They know
Yeah.
you, and they're coming to see you.
Well, two of your three games is division games. So you got the Bears this week, and then
The
you got the
Bears this week is going to be a tough task, right? So yeah, you don't get to you're not sneaking up on anybody
no,
either.
no,
These
not
guys
at,
know you, and they're coming for you.
not at all.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's move on. Let's talk about the Bears and them moving toward the end of the season here.
Yeah, like we talked about earlier, the Bears, if you're a Bears fan, you should be all in on this season because
Yeah.
this is a special season for you.
It
Hey,
is. It looks
and
like
we've
a
talked
special
about
team
that defense
effort.
all year round about how this is not sustainable to be one of the worst defenses in the league, and just really living off these turnovers and
Uh-huh.
takeaways. But hey,
They keep doing it.
you got 3 games left, baby. If you win one of these 3 games, you're in the playoffs, right? So,
Yes. They've got three.
especially if you beat the Lions,
They've got three division games. I mean, not three division, three conference games left.
right?
Two division games. So yeah, they absolutely control their own destiny.
Yeah,
They control their own playoff seeding. Uh,
yep,
if they win their last three games, I think they will be the number one seed.
yeah. I
No,
think
the
so.
Rams still will be, unless San Francisco still plays LA. They would be at worst the number two seed if they
Yeah,
win
and the Rams have a tough game this week against Seattle.
against Seattle. And
So,
Seattle may be the second best team in this conference.
but we're talking about this defense. This defense, with the takeovers, it led to 17 points for
Yeah,
Chicago because those takeovers were on
we're in
the
Cleveland
Browns
territory.
side of the
Yeah,
field. So
yeah,
you just really got to give it up to these guys and what they're doing and how they're making it happen. And Caleb is developing right in front of our eyes. I mean, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. I mean, he doesn't throw interceptions anyway.
right.
Um, and just the ability to run the ball,
Yes,
right?
yes,
And commit to running the ball.
yes.
DeAndre Swift had almost 100 yards. Will McCann.
Yeah. Just as a reminder, in case you forgot, Will
Just as a reminder, he's probably got your name up on in his locker room or something in his locker, like Will McCann.
who
He's
is
another
that guy?
another 100
I
yards,
think he know
right?
what he's talking about.
But he averaged almost 5.5 yards per carry. So, man, I mean, Brian, what they're doing there, that offense is coming together, and again, that defense is holding up. So, hey, this is your year.
If DeAndre Swift had played this way in Detroit, the Lions never would have drafted Jameer Gibbs. They probably
Right,
would have drafted Jalen Carter instead. But they needed a back. They needed an explosive back because Swift wasn't consistent, right?
right,
He'd have those moments of explosion, but not consistent. Which is why he didn't stay in Philadelphia, right? Which is why
right.
Philly didn't try to sign him long term because
Yep.
they saw the same thing. But he's been playing well since he's been in Chicago, man, and he's pissed off at me. That's for sure. Told me to keep my name out of his mouth or keep his name out of my mouth. But yeah, I'm liking where Chicago is right now. And I agree with you about Caleb, man. We're seeing development out of Caleb, man. Like I said, Ben Kerwin's like, hey, he played 16 games last year. So
Yeah,
stop telling me he's a rookie. But
right,
I
right,
see a rookie playing better, getting better. Um, his decision making, he still wants to be the hero, right? He still holds onto the ball too long. But every time he holds onto it and makes one of those big throws to Colston Loveland, you know he's going to do it again, right? It's like,
right, right.
it's
And
one of those, no, 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 no. Okay.
I was gonna mention Colston Loveland, right? He found him for 4 catches, 63 yards, and also finding Swift out the backfield. So, man, I mean, yes, they run play action a ton, but they need to run play action to keep him from running out the back of the
Yes,
play, right?
yes, yes,
We
yes.
got we need
You
you to
can't
run
escape out the back of the pocket,
sideways, maybe forward a little bit, get that ball out, right? So
but do not
again,
run backwards, bro.
yeah. But again, with that offense and the rushing game, if you have that going, you can use play action as much as you want to, Ben
Yes.
Johnson.
And they quietly have probably the best set of weapons in the division. They've definitely got the best tight end combination with Loveland and Cole Kmet.
Hmm.
When excuse me, when Rome Odunze is healthy, I don't think there are three receivers better than DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, and Luther Burden.
Yeah.
Uh, Swift and Monangai out of the backfield. I don't think there's a better set of weapons in the division. I think they have the best weapons.
Yeah, the way that they're set up and the way that the play calling is Detroit 2 years ago.
Yeah, and they
It's the-
obviously have the best O line in the division too.
yeah,
And I agree with you. I agree with you. And they always had the weapons. It was them spending money on their three offensive linemen, their three interior offensive linemen, Jonah Jackson, Dahlman, and Joe Tooney.
yeah,
Spending their money there has made a huge difference in their offense. And
yeah.
I think they are, if you can run the football and play defense, you are going to be in any game,
Hmm.
road or at home, right? Run game and defense travels, right?
Right.
And they've got the best combination right there in the division. So yeah, I'm
Yeah.
Chicago sitting to me, even though they're in second place, they've got this home game coming up. Two of their last three. Am I looking at the right
You're
one?
second in
Yeah,
the
two of their
conference?
last three are at home. Say it again.
You're saying second in the conference?
They're second in the division right now. No,
No,
I take that back.
they're number one in the
Green Bay
division.
lost. I keep forgetting Green Bay lost
Yeah.
last week. So yeah, they are they are second in the conference, right? And in the
Right.
catbird seat in the division.
Right.
With a home game this week against Green Bay. So yeah,
Yes.
Chicago is in control of their own
Yeah.
destiny.
And I just want to say Ben Johnson had an opportunity to leave Detroit 2 years ago, and he stayed.
Yes.
And then when this job came up, there was no doubt that he was going to take that job in Chicago because he saw what they had and the
Yes.
potential,
Yes.
and he saw that young man Caleb, and he was like,
I
man,
can work with that guy.
he's got better legs than Jared Goff.
That's
So
an element. A mobile quarterback is an element you can't account for on the defense.
right,
Numbers wise, you just can't account for that guy. You can't
no,
get numbers. If they get a hat on a hat, the running quarterback is going to gain 5 yards at least.
right. Yeah, I just got to coach him up, and Caleb's shown to be very coachable.
He has shown to be coachable, which was
So
like, we talked earlier. That was one of the things I doubted about him, right?
yeah,
He just didn't have that reputation of being a guy who took hard coaching, right?
hmm.
But
But
yeah, he's absolutely grown. I've seen nothing but growth in that young man this season. So
yeah,
yeah, I got to
but
give
it's
it.
the best case scenario for him because he's got a coach that's really pouring into him, and they're winning games,
Yes,
right? So for him, it's like, oh, we're being successful. Let
yes.
me just keep.
Let me
What do you
just
want me
keep
to do,
doing what I'm
coach?
doing. Right.
What do you want me to
Yeah.
do?
Yeah, you make a great point there. It's easy to accept the coaching when you see the coaching as being successful, right?
Right.
When it is helping you, it is easy to follow that coaching.
Exactly.
All right, let's move on and talk about your Detroit Lions and how they
Detroit.
should feel as they're about to close out the season.
Well, my wife told me never to use this phrase ever again.
Okay.
But Detroit, there's some lemon booties in the city. There's some tightness going on.
Some
Look,
puckering. There's some puckering going
exactly. So look, you went out to LA. It was a
on.
competitive game for that first half,
Yes,
but you just don't have the manpower, and especially on the defensive
on
end
defense,
of it,
right?
right? So you're still in this. You have like a 30% chance to make the playoffs, but you got to win all your games. You got to win the last three games, right? And then you got to hope that you get a little bit of help from someone else out there, but you can't give up on the season. Um, you face the Steelers at home, Vikings on the road, and the Bears on the road.
Yeah,
You you got to win all three of these games
they've got
to
to
give
close.
yourself a chance.
If they, at the beginning of the season, I said this team would win 11 or 12 games. They'd
Yeah,
have to win all three games to win 11, which is about where I thought they'd be. Yeah,
right.
they still have an outside chance to make the playoffs. Um, the NFC West teams are still battling. One of them's going to get eliminated, possibly, because I think Rams have to play both Seattle and San
49ers.
Fran. Right.
Yeah,
Down the stretch. San Fran plays Green Bay also here
right.
down the stretch. So there's an opportunity. The Lions need help, right? They
They
definitely
need
need help
help.
at this point. But winning out helps yourself, right?
Right.
Uh, not I don't think they can't get in if they don't win out.
Yeah, they need to win out. And the problem for the Lions is you haven't won back-to-back games.
And it's been since September. They haven't
Right.
won back-to-back games since September.
So now you're in a situation where you got to win every single game
Yes.
to get in. And my thing is, once you get in,
What is
are
it
you
going to
one and
look
done?
like? What is it
Yeah,
going to look like? Right.
exactly. Are you one and done?
Right.
So it's a tough situation.
Yep.
It really is. Yeah. But hey, Jack Campbell, 14 tackles.
Jack Campbell has played his tail off this season, man. His growth and development this season has really been impressive. I if particularly if Branch and Kirby Joseph had stayed healthy, I think
Right.
the defense would be a lot better, and I think his impact on that defense, Jack Campbell's impact on that defense,
Yeah.
would have been a lot more impactful had he had the secondary been better throughout the course of the season. But they've had so many injuries, so many guys being in and out. Uh, but yeah, Jack Campbell has been all over the field making plays. Sometimes, though, he's making those 9, 10, 11-yard tackles downfield
Right, right, right,
because
right.
he's chasing plays that have gotten away, right? That other guys, our safeties, especially Bridge, great at filling gaps, right? And making plays in the box. Missing that element has really impacted their defense.
Right. And then the offensive line just hasn't been consistent all season.
Right.
It's one week they look really good. They're performing well. The next week they're not doing well. I mean,
Yep.
they went out to LA and man, where was the running game at? It was
Yeah,
just
the second
it was
half could not run the
non-existent.
ball at all in the second half. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
they couldn't run the ball at all. It's only had like 38 yards. And then Montgomery was non-existent again because your offensive line just hasn't gotten it together. And I know there's injuries and retirements and people coming out of retirement and then they're injured before they get on the field. You just haven't been consistent on the
right.
offensive line for your running backs to be consistent as
Yep.
well. Yes, we've had some explosive running plays this season. Jameer, I mean, you can put together a highlight film for Jameer that's bananas,
Yeah.
right? But some of those games you don't win if he's not explosive.
Right.
And it makes the stats look different because he's breaking off these 60-yard runs or
Yeah.
50-yard runs or whatever. But when you take those
When you
out of
look at it
the
in the aggregate,
equation,
yeah.
you're averaging like 2 yards a carry.
Yep.
And you can't be successful in the NFL um with that type of production.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. I think you're going to see, you'll definitely see them make an investment in their interior O line this offseason.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Graham Glasgow, when the season ends, he's probably playing his last game for the Lions. If he hasn't played his last game, he's definitely started his last game for the Lions. I think
Right.
he'll be that veteran rotational player going forward. But yeah, he has not had a good season, and he didn't have a good season last year. Best days
Mhm.
are just probably behind him at this point in his career. All right, let's turn the page and talk about the Minnesota Vikings. You're ready. We were both already talking 2026 on this team a couple of weeks ago, right? And they're like, pump your brakes. Not yet. We still got some things we can do this season. Even though them and Detroit both, at this point, to me, they both are spoilers at this point, right? Minnesota can wreck seasons. Uh, they ended Dallas' season last week, right? They play the
Right.
Giants this week. They've got Detroit and how did I do that? They got Detroit and Green Bay. I wrote that Minnesota is playing Minnesota to end the season. I know that that's not right. Yeah, they're playing Green Bay to end the season. So yeah,
Right, right.
they can be smart. They can end both. Hey, we're not making the playoffs. You're
Yeah.
not either.
Minnesota has
In
a
both of their
chance.
seasons.
In the next 3 weeks, Minnesota has a chance to sweep the Lions and the Packers.
Yes. Yes.
Right. So
Yes.
that's the NFC North.
I was just about to say that that's this division. That is this division, man. Where the
And they're
last
not
place team can
last
sweep
place
two
team.
teams in the division. Yes.
Exactly. So they have an opportunity, like you said, to be a spoiler. That defense is ridiculous,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Um, I I just I'm not sold on JJ, right? So I think when you talk about 2026, they got to bring somebody in, but there's not a ton of good free agent quarterbacks, right? Because we talked about a couple of weeks ago where Marcus Mariota, maybe um, Daniel Jones, but he's injured,
Right.
right? So you're not going to bring someone in like that.
Right.
You could possibly trade for what's my guy out there, Mac Jones out
Okay.
in San Francisco. You could
Won't
trade for
Mac
Mac Jones.
won't
Was
Mac
that?
be available? Will he be a free agent at the end of the season?
He's not a free agent,
He's not.
but
Okay.
it's his last year.
Okay. It's the
But
last year of his rookie contract next year. Okay.
yeah,
Got it.
last year of the contract.
Uh,
But he's only been paid 4.5 million. So you could put together a trade where you bring in Mac Jones and you have someone, it'd be his fifth or sixth year in the league, young man. We talk about how some quarterbacks need time to develop,
yes.
right? And
Yes.
he played like 10 games this season. He looked
He's
decent,
looked good. He's looked good when
right?
he's played for San
He's put
Fran.
together some wins for San Francisco. So you still gotta, if you're Minnesota, you still gotta bring somebody in.
I
You
agree. I
you
agree.
still gotta bring somebody in.
You got to bring
Even
somebody in to create the
even
competition.
if JJ looks great and he's throwing 2 and 3 touchdowns each game for the last 3 games, you can't rely on, yes, he's going to develop. We're going to be able to get there. But like we saw this season, he was injured, he was in and out,
Yeah.
missed more than a few games
Yeah.
due to injury,
Yeah.
right? So you have to have a quality backup. And you tried that with Carson Wentz, but he ended up,
Being Carson Wentz.
being, being unalived on the field.
Yeah, he ended up
But
being Carson Wentz. He went out there
being
and
Carson Wentz.
played like
Yeah.
Carson Wentz.
So you still need to bring someone in.
Yeah, I
That's my
agree.
whole thing. And we joke about them playing for 2026. You basically are ending the season to see what you have in JJ. Like,
Yes.
can he finish the season?
That is a
That's the number one
question still,
question
right? That's a question
because
still.
this week's game against the Giants is Jackson Dart playing? Do we know?
I doubt it because he had a
Okay.
concussion, and like I
Because I
said,
was I
so
was about to
you're getting
say
Jameis. You're getting Jameis.
I was about to say those two quarterbacks on the same field,
Yeah.
moxie.
Couple of quarterbacks with lots of moxie.
Lots of moxie. But
Yeah,
back
it
to
actually
back to
looks like
Minnesota.
yeah, that's
They
important.
Yeah, Minnesota. First of all, you need JJ to finish the season. So it's important that he stays on the field,
Yes,
doesn't get injured. And you need to see whatever you can in these last 3 weeks, some development, some consistency from him, but you still need to bring in a quality backup, someone that's going to help you win more games, get you into the playoffs. Because I can tell you, if if you don't have Justin Jefferson on board, there's going to be a big division in that locker room in 2026.
that would when if your best players are not on board, it is definitely going to create division in the locker room.
Right.
All right, let's turn the page and start to talk about the games for this week. We've kind of mentioned them this week, but let's see what your thoughts are as we head into week 16 and these playoff games, using the air quotes, playoff games here, starting with the Detroit Lions at home against the Pittsburgh Steelers. How do you see that
All right. So Lions
one?
versus Steelers. Detroit is favored by 7. The over-under is 51 and a half. I have the Steelers 28, Lions 34.
Okay.
We talked about the Lions need to win these 3 games. They need to get out in front of them, and they play better at home. They're 5-2 at home, right? The Steelers, they're looking better down the line. Um, I don't know if you learned anything from that Monday night game, but against the Dolphins, but they are 3-3 on the road. So I I'm leaning Lions because they really need to get this win and start to build, right? Because if they lose this game, it's over for them for the rest of the season. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I'm leaning into the Lions, 34, Steelers 28.
I see it similar, and I see it similar for all the same reasons, right? Lions desperate team playing for their season at this point. Their next loss ends their playoff hopes, right? They'll have a hard time if they lose another game making the playoffs.
Right.
Pittsburgh in first place in their division with a pending home game or a pending division game against the Ravens. So they've got some division games with Ravens and Cincinnati coming up. This game, they have started to play better. This game on the road, though, I see it similar. I see Detroit 28, Pittsburgh 23. I see it being a close game. I see both teams battling. But as you said, I think Detroit at home, I think, pulls out this win. And then the uh, Minnesota Vikings traveling on the road headed to New York. Tell me how you see that game.
Vikings are favored by 2.5. The over-under is 43 and a half. I have the Vikings 24, Giants 10. That might be a little low on the Giants end, especially if your boy plays. If Winston's out there, man, it might look a little bit different. Overall, I'm not really interested in this game per se, but I do want to see how JJ looks, right? And what that defense is going to do to the Giants. So I have the Vikings winning that 24-10.
Yeah, you're right. You're talking about interest in this game. Isn't a lot of interest outside of these two cities. Neither team is headed to the playoffs.
Right.
Uh, both teams have quality young players who are, in the process of developing, and people want to see their players develop. So there's definitely different angles to watch. I believe my man Jameis is going to get another opportunity to start. And Jameis is a gunslinger. Jameis will be out there slinging that thing. He might throw 2 interceptions. I mean, he might throw 2 interceptions for touchdowns to the opponents, but he's going to throw 2 to his own team also, right? And he
Exactly.
is not going to stop throwing it, right?
Right, right.
He is never risk averse, and he's never shy about throwing that football. Right?
Exactly.
I talk about young players holding on to the football. Sometimes you wish Jameis would hold it.
It
But
might be to tune in to see the pregame speech.
that alone is worth it, right? Just to hear Jameis in the huddle pregame.
Right,
But yeah,
right.
I've got this one now. The Giants at home. I never like a team. This would be Minnesota's second week in a row on the road. I never like a team 2 weeks in a row on the road. So I've got this one, the Giants 24, Minnesota 20.
Okay.
And then the last game, the big game at the top of the division, the leaders in the conference, the Green Bay Packers traveling to Soldier Field. One of the last times I think Soldier Field is going to be shut down in a couple of years. They're traveling to Soldier Field to take on the Bears in the oldest rivalry in the NFL. How do you
Okay.
see that one?
Well, the Green Bay Packers are favored by 1.5 at Green Bay. I mean, at Chicago.
At Chicago. Just like they were favored last week. So I was a little nervous when I picked Denver last week. I'm like, why did the odds makers pick the Packers? And then they have them again this week?
Right, right. So uh Green Bay's favored by 1.5. The over-under is 46 and a half. I have it Packers 24, Bears 28.
Okay.
Packers have been uneven on the road. They have been mediocre on the road, right? And then we talked about it earlier in the show. Micah's gone. Christian Watson's probably gone. Chicago almost got Green Bay in Green Bay, right?
Right.
I see the Bears, two takeaways, game over.
I see it similar. I see my man CJ Gardner-Johnson getting another pick, getting another turnover, then going in the locker room and pissing off everybody in the locker room on his own team. But the guy makes plays, man. I don't know why he bounces around so much because wherever he goes, he is one of the best players on that team, and he is always making plays. And annually, his name is amongst the leaders in takeaways. So I expect him to make a big play in the game. I see this game being similar to the game 2 weeks ago. Tough, close, cold NFC North traditional black and blue game. There are going to be some pads cracking in this game. But I see Chicago coming out on top as well. I see it Chicago 27, Green Bay 21.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You know, Ben Johnson got something special for Green Bay
And
after.
at least one trick play from the Bears, right? From Ben Johnson and the
Got
Bears.
something special for him. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, my man. So that's all we've got so far. I mean, for this episode. And just to talk real quick, you and I were chatting before the show. We will continue to have shows through the playoffs, right? All the way through the Super Bowl. And then as we get closer to the Super Bowl, we'll talk to you guys about what we'll be doing going forward as we turn the page to the 2026 season and get started with the business season. So definitely, we want you to stay with us through the entire postseason. But Tellis, go ahead and wrap this episode up for us, my man.
So definitely you want to hit that subscribe button so that you get those notifications when we drop these off-season podcast episodes for you. But we are dedicated to doing this. The NFL doesn't have an off season, so we're gonna rock it every week that we can and bring these episodes to you. But we appreciate you guys hanging out with us. We love breaking down the NFC North, and like Will's saying, we'll break down all the NFL teams into the playoffs and into the Super Bowl. But when we're not doing this, we're out here making real estate happen. So if you know anybody that needs to buy, sell, or invest, hit us up for your winning game plan in real estate. Fellas, share the pie with your buddies. Ladies, share it with your crew. Make sure you do hit that subscribe button, and then drop us that 5-star rating.
Like Tellis said, it doesn't matter where you are. You're anywhere in the USA, especially if you're in the black and blue region. We have contacts in Minnesota, in Illinois, in Wisconsin, in Ohio. So, we can help you find property for if you want to move, whether you're buying, selling, or investing, as Tellis said. We can help you no matter where you are in the country. Just reach out to us. We'll be glad to assist. So with that, we're going to put a bow tie on this one, even though my man and I are casual today. You heard me sniffling. I made it through it. I'm getting right in bed with finish, bro. It's a shot of whiskey in bed when I finish it. But hey, we thank you for hanging out with us, man. Like Tellis said, leave us all the comments. We've enjoyed the comments that people have left. We enjoyed all the feedback we're getting, and we will see you next time.
Yes, sir.